Your quick lunch isn't just a guilty pleasure, it might be a toxic time bomb ticking in your gut. That steaming bowl of noodles you turn to when you're tired, broke, or in a rush? It's likely packed with industrial preservatives meant for jet fuel, sodium levels that rival a bag of salt, and packaging that leaches hormone-disrupting chemicals into your broth. I spent weeks investigating the UK's most popular instant noodle aisles, from the student staples to the so-called premium Asian imports. What I found will make you want to pour that boiling water straight down the drain. While the packaging shows fresh vegetables, vibrant spices, and wholesome grains, the ingredient lists tell a story of chemical engineering, cost-cutting, and mass-market deception. In the next 20 minutes, I am going to reveal exactly which 7 noodle brands are poisoning you with flavor enhancers, dangerous preservatives, and deceptively labeled toxins. We are going to expose the industry giants that have normalized eating sludge. But stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly which 5 brands are actually safe to feed your family, brands that use real ingredients, real broth, and packaging that won't mess with your DNA. 1. Pot Noodle, the undisputed king of British instant food, the slag of all snacks. It's a cultural icon found in university dorms, office pantries, and kitchen cupboards across the UK. It's marketed as the ultimate convenience, just boil and eat. But have you ever looked at what that thick, neon sludge actually is? Pot noodle isn't food. It's a triumph of chemistry over nutrition. Let's talk about the sauce. The consistency of pot noodle doesn't come from slow-simmered bones or vegetables. It comes from a cocktail of thickeners like xanthan gum and guar gum. While deemed safe in small doses, when consumed in the quantities found in these pots, they can cause significant digestive distress, bloating, and laxative effects. You aren't digesting that sauce. Your body is struggling to expel it. But the real villain here is the flavor profile. Pot noodle relies heavily on flavor enhancers. You'll see E621 monosodium glutamate and E635 disodium 5-ribonucleotides buried in the fine print. These excitotoxins trick your brain into thinking the food is more nutritious and protein-rich than it actually is. They hijack your satiety signals, making you crave more even when you're full. That's why you feel gross but still hungry an hour later. And then there is the palm oil. To keep the noodles cheap and shelf-stable, they are flash-fried in palm oil. This isn't just an environmental disaster, it's a health nightmare. Palm oil is roughly 50% saturated fat. A single pot noodle can contain a significant chunk of your daily saturated fat limit, clogging your arteries while offering zero nutritional value. Pot noodles' defense? They claim they have reduced salt in recent years. Translation: we lowered one poison slightly so you wouldn't notice the other 6 we kept in. They market themselves as vegetarian on many flavors to appear healthier. But vegetarian doesn't mean vegetable, it just means the beef flavor was synthesized in a lab rather than taken from a cow. For the students living on this because it's cheap, you are paying for brain fog and lethargy. For the construction workers grabbing this for a quick calorie hit, you are fueling your body with inflammation. Pot noodle is the ultimate example of a product that fills you up but leaves you starving for actual nutrients. 2. Bachelor's Super Noodles, the go-to side dish for British families. The ads show happy kids and relieved mums, suggesting this is a wholesome part of a balanced dinner. Super is in the name. But there is nothing super about what's inside that packet. Bachelor's Super Noodles are essentially blocks of refined white flour bonded together with acidity regulators like potassium carbonate, E501. This chemical is also used in fire extinguishers and glass making. In your noodles, it's used to give that chewy texture. You are eating industrial alkali agents to mimic the texture of real pasta. But let's look at the chicken flavor. The ingredient list is a terrifying read of hydrolysis. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein. This is a sneaky way of adding MSG without printing MSG on the front label. When proteins are hydrolyzed, broken down with acid, they release free glutamates. It's the same chemical reaction, just a different legal name. Then there's the sodium. A pack of super noodles can contain over 1.5 grams of salt. That's a massive hit for a child. If you serve this to your kids thinking it's a safe carb source, you are essentially giving them a salt lick disguised as dinner. High sodium intake in childhood sets the stage for high blood pressure later in life. Batchelors is owned by Premier Foods, a massive conglomerate. They know how to make healthy food. They simply choose not to for this line because chemicals are cheaper than chicken. Their low-fat versions are even worse, often replacing the fat with sugar or more thickeners to maintain the mouthfeel. For the busy mums trying to get dinner on the table, Batchelors is betraying your trust. You think you're buying dried pasta with some seasoning. You're actually buying a brick of acidity regulators and hidden glutamates. 3. Nissin Cup Noodles and Soba Cups. The global giant. The brand that invented instant noodles. They market their Soba Cups as a premium Japanese experience. The packaging looks authentic, the price is higher, so it must be better, right? Wrong. Nissin has a packaging problem that they have been fighting for decades. While they have slowly moved away from styrofoam in some regions, many of their cups are still lined with plastic films and coatings designed to hold boiling water. When you pour 100-degree water into a plastic or plastic-lined cup, you are creating a chemical migration event. Bisphenols and phthalates, endocrine disruptors linked to hormonal imbalances and fertility issues, can leach from the lining into the broth. You aren't just drinking soup, you're drinking the container. Inside the cup, it gets worse. Nissin frequently uses TBHQ, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, or E319. This is a synthetic antioxidant derived from petroleum. It's used to extend the shelf life of the fat in the noodles so they can sit in a warehouse for 12 months without going rancid. The European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, has set strict limits on TBHQ because high doses have been linked to DNA damage in animal studies. Nissin claims their products comply with all safety regulations. Translation: we use the maximum amount of petroleum-based preservatives legally allowed before the government shuts us down. Compliance isn't safety, it's just the legal threshold for toxicity. For the office worker eating a soba cup at their desk, that headache you get at 3 p.m. might not be the screen. It might be the TBHQ and plasticizers in your lunch. 4. Coca Noodles. Walk into any budget shop or student accommodation and you will see Coca. They are incredibly cheap, often sold for pennies. They market themselves as a lighter, oriental alternative. But cheap comes at a steep price. Coca noodles are a masterclass in deep frying. Unlike traditional noodles, which are air-dried, Coca noodles are deep-fried in palm oil to dehydrate them instantly. This creates a porous sponge that soaks up the boiling water later. But it also means the noodle block is roughly 20% oil by weight before you even add water. The seasoning sachets in Coca are notorious. They contain tartrazine, E102, and sunset yellow, E110, in their curry and spicy flavors. These are artificial azo dyes. In the UK, products containing these dyes are required to carry a warning that they may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Coca puts this warning in tiny print on the back where you won't look. These dyes have been linked to hyperactivity in children and allergic reactions in sensitive adults. Yet, Coca is often a staple for kids coming home from school. A snack that ruins their focus and pumps them with inflammatory oils. Coca's defense? Authentic taste. Real spices are expensive. Yellow coal tar dye is cheap. They are selling you an oil sponge colored with hyperactivity agents. 5. Maggi 2-minute noodles. Nestlé, the world's largest food company, a brand that has faced more controversies than almost any other. Maggi is marketed as a heritage brand, a flavor of home for many. In 2015, Maggi faced a massive recall in India due to allegations of lead contamination and excessive MSG. While they were eventually cleared to return to shelves, the incident highlighted how industrial their process is. But let's look at the UK version sold today. Maggi noodles rely heavily on mineral salt, 508, potassium chloride. They use this to mask the bitter taste of low-quality ingredients and to replace some sodium so they can claim reduced salt. But potassium chloride has a metallic, chemical aftertaste that they then have to mask with strong artificial flavors. Furthermore, Maggi uses refined wheat flour, maida. This is stripped of all fiber and nutrients. It hits your bloodstream like pure sugar, spiking your insulin. Combined with the high-fat content, it's a metabolic disaster. It promotes insulin resistance and visceral belly fat. Nestlé's marketing focuses on fortified with iron. Translation: we stripped all the natural nutrition out of the wheat, so we sprayed some metallic iron dust back on so we can put a health claim on the front. It's nutrient-void filler disguised as a fortified meal. For the loyal fans who grew up on Maggi, the recipe has changed, and not for the better. You are eating Nestlé's profit margins, not a wholesome meal. 6. Shin Ramyun, Nongshim. The cult favorite. The spicy challenge. Everyone loves Shin Ramyun for that addictive heat. It's the premium choice for spice lovers. But have you checked the sodium count? One packet of Shin Ramyun contains nearly 90% of your recommended daily intake of sodium. One bowl. If you eat anything else with salt that day, you are putting massive strain on your kidneys and cardiovascular system. This isn't just salty, it's a hypertensive crisis in a bowl. The gourmet spicy flavor isn't just chili peppers, it's a complex mix of hydrolyzed proteins, maltodextrin, sugar, and disodium guanylate. It is engineered to be hyper-palatable. It triggers the dopamine centers in your brain, making it physically difficult to stop eating the soup even when it burns. This is addiction marketing applied to food. Moreover, the noodles are thicker than average, requiring longer frying times during manufacturing, leading to higher retention of oxidized oils. Oxidized oils are pro-inflammatory and damage your cell membranes. You are stressing your heart with the salt and inflaming your arteries with the oil. For the spice chasers, that heat is masking a dangerous nutritional profile. You are paying premium import prices for heart disease risks. 7. Indomie mee goreng. This one hurts to say because it is delicious. It has a global fan base. But we have to look at the flavor packets. Indomie usually comes with 4 or 5 separate sachets: seasoning powder, seasoning oil, sweet soy sauce, and chili sauce. That seasoning oil? It's often refined palm oil infused with synthetic onion flavor and TBHQ, the preservative we mentioned earlier. The sweet soy sauce is high fructose corn syrup loaded with sodium benzoate, E211. Studies suggest sodium benzoate can damage mitochondria, the power plants of your cells. When you mix all 5 sachets, you are creating a chemical slurry that includes 3 different types of preservatives, 2 types of flavor enhancers, and artificial thickeners. It is a chemical load that your liver has to process and detoxify. In 2022, certain Indomie chicken flavors were recalled in Taiwan and Malaysia due to the detection of ethylene oxide, a pesticide and carcinogen, in the seasoning packets. While the UK stock was declared safe, it proves that the supply chain sourcing these spices is vulnerable to contamination. Indomie is cheap, tasty, and dangerous. For the students living on 5 packs a week, you are overloading your detox pathways with preservatives meant for industrial storage, not human digestion. The aisles are full of these chemical cocktails: Pot Noodle sludge, Bachelor's acidity regulators, Nissin's plasticizers, Coca's dyes, Maggi's empty carbs, Shin Ramyun's sodium bomb, and Indomie's preservative soup. But you don't have to give up noodles. You just have to stop buying the lies. Real noodles exist. Safe brands exist. Brands that respect your body and your family. Here are the 5 brands you should be buying. Safe pick 1. Mr. Lee's Noodles. Finally, a brand that understands convenience doesn't have to mean cancer risks. Mr. Lee's was founded by a man recovering from cancer who wanted a quick noodle meal without the nasties. The difference is in the processing. Mr. Lee's uses freeze-drying for their ingredients. Unlike heat drying or deep frying, which destroys nutrients and requires preservatives, freeze-drying locks in the nutrition of the real vegetables and proteins. Look at the ingredients. Freeze-dried chicken, freeze-dried broccoli, ginger, orange blossom honey. Real food. They are certified gluten-free, which means no inflammatory bleached white flour. They use rice noodles. And crucially, they have some of the lowest salt levels in the category. No MSG, no TBHQ, no palm oil. The packaging? It lists every ingredient clearly. No hidden E numbers. It costs more than a pot noodle, yes. But you aren't paying for flavor enhancers. You are paying for actual freeze-dried meat and vegetables. For the office worker who needs a healthy desk lunch, this is the gold standard. Safe pick 2. Itsu Crystal Noodle Cups. Itsu has brought the clean eating philosophy of Asian street food to the supermarket shelf. Their crystal noodle cups are a revelation. Instead of a deep-fried block of wheat, they use glass noodles made from bean starch or pea starch. These noodles are never fried, they are air-dried. This means 0 saturated fat from processing. The texture is silky and light, not heavy and starchy. The broth is a paste, not a powder. Powders usually need anti-caking agents, chemicals like silicon dioxide. Pastes capture the flavor of real miso, herbs, and spices without the chemical fillers. A typical Itsu cup is under 230 calories, compared to the 500-plus calorie bombs of the bad brands. They are transparent about their sourcing. Authentic miso from Japan. Real herbs. No artificial colors. No MSG. For the weight-conscious shopper or anyone wanting a light lunch that won't cause a slump, Itsu is the safe, clean choice. Safe pick 3. Kabuto Noodles. Kabuto markets themselves as posh noodles, and for once, the marketing holds up. They bridge the gap between instant convenience and restaurant quality. Kabuto refuses to use additives or preservatives. Check the label. No additives, no preservatives, no guilt. They rely on natural ingredients like coconut milk powder, coriander, turmeric, and ginger for flavor. They don't use the cheap, natural flavoring loophole to hide chemicals. Their noodles are egg noodles or rice noodles, not oil sponges. They don't use palm oil. The pots are designed to be recyclable, but the main selling point is the sodium reduction. They manage to create bold flavors like chicken, ramen, or katsu without hitting dangerous salt levels. Kabuto proves that instant doesn't have to mean industrial. For the foodie who wants good taste without the chemical aftertaste, buy Kabuto. Safe pick 4. Clear Spring Organic Brown Rice Noodles. If you want to go a step further and cook at home, Clear Spring is the ultimate safe brand. This is for the parents cooking for their children. Clear Spring products are 100% organic, no pesticides, no glyphosate residues on the wheat, but their star product is the brown rice noodles. Unlike the bleached white flour in Bachelors, these use whole grain brown rice. This provides fiber, magnesium, and sustained energy without the insulin spike. They are air-dried, never fried. They cook in 3 minutes, just like the toxic brands. But the ingredients list is usually 2 items: brown, rice, flour, and water. That's it. No E numbers, no gums, no acidity regulators. You control the broth, you add the veggies, but the base, the noodle itself, is pure. For parents weaning their kids off super noodles, switch to Clear Spring. The texture is better, and you aren't feeding them pesticide residue. Safe pick 5. King Soba. Another hero for the health-conscious family. King Soba specializes in ancient grains: buckwheat, black rice, amaranth. Their mighty miso instant cups are organic and non-GMO. This is crucial because soy, used in miso, is one of the most genetically modified crops in the world. King Soba guarantees their soy is non-GMO and organic. Their noodle cakes are organic brown rice ramen. The soup base contains real organic miso, organic chili, and organic onions. No yeast extract, which is often used to hide MSG. No palm oil. They are a family-run business that focuses on food as medicine. The price point is higher, around £2 a cup, but think about what you are saving on healthcare. For people with gluten sensitivities or gut issues, King Soba is the only choice that heals rather than harms. The difference is stark. On one side, Pot Noodle, Bachelors, Nissin, Coca, Maggi, Shin Ramyun, and Indomie. Brands that use petroleum-based preservatives, TBHQ, hidden MSG, bleaching agents, palm oil, and plasticizers to sell you cheap, addictive sludge. On the other side, Mr. Lee's, Itsu, Kabuto, Clearspring, and King Soba. Brands that use freeze-drying, organic ingredients, air drying, and transparent labeling. The choice is yours. You can keep saving a few pennies to fill your body with industrial chemicals, or you can spend a little more to eat actual food. Go check your kitchen cupboard right now. If you see that yellow pot noodle cup or that packet of Bachelors, throw it out. Don't finish it. Your health is worth more than a 90p pot of thickeners. If you found this list helpful, hit that subscribe button. We are going to be exposing the healthy snack industry next, and you won't believe what is in your protein bars. Stay sharp, read the labels, and stop eating poisons. Thanks for watching.